All right, folks, I've got, what's her name here? What your name is again?
Svetlana.
Svetlana, commonly known as Miss Katie. We got a new game yesterday, which she has in front of her. Let's see if she can recall it.
Bosnian War.
Bosnian War, and what's even funnier is she's reading it without her glasses, folks. So
Be scared. Be very scared.
So that means that S&T did a good job on making it large enough. Now, prior to me, Miss Katie would have known nil about the Balkans. It was never in her wheelhouse. Now, Miss Katie sort of comes from a military family, except her daddy's active duty time all passed by before she was even a zygote.
Right.
So all of his active duty time would have been solely as a reservist.
He was a reservist by the time I came along.
Yeah, and would have been basically kind of summer ETs or whatever. So
Right.
now for us, this starts to matter to Miss Katie because at the time we got together, I was a young officer in the Pennsylvania Army National Guard. And by the time 1995 rolls around, 94, 95, the National Guard was starting to sniff for a mission, both wanting to keep the federal dollars flowing to it, and that a number of folks who had left, hard-charging folks who had left active duty, such as myself, had filtered their way into the Guard. So the Guard is looking for a mission, and the active duty, the active component, didn't want to go do anything like peacekeeping missions into the Balkans, and so that was kind of a decent fit for the Guard. So I spent a lot of my time planning possible missions into the Balkans, such as Albania, Serbia, Hungary, Czech, and Slovakia as entry points for that. So this is a brand new game. It arrived when? Say yesterday, miss.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Oh, should I sing?
With no apologies to the Beatles.
Yeah, so I won't sing. So we're kind of excited by this. We'll be doing a look at it. But this is where Miss Katie starts to earn her spurs and her own battle stars for the military stuff, is getting used to the fact that, well, the reality I married is different than the reality I grew up with in terms of the military. So we're excited by this one, folks. It's by Javier Romero, who I like a great deal and who I worked with on the Red Partisans game for Compass. So there you have it. I've got stuff to do outside because, I'm going to go off Miss Katie for a moment because you can see we have no snow outside. Yay! And it's supposed to get 50-something today.
Yay.
And so, yay!
Yay.
So Miss Katie is supposed to do her standard wave off.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, folks. Thanks. All right, folks, video time here. I'm probably going to have to rotate this on my own from what I can see. There are 5 factions here. 1, 2, well, I guess there's 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. I hadn't noticed the Muslim rebel units earlier while looking at this. So there are actually 6 factions to this game. I like the counters. Gee, that would sound unusual if I didn't, right? Except, when I don't like them. Bold. Let's say you're colorblind. Well, red and green are the colorblind issues normally. You know who belongs to who because in the upper right-hand corner are the factions. Here you have the cleansing markers. Here you have obviously different what do I want to call them? Refugee counters, and then you have possible events for the various years. So I think these are more than acceptable counters. Notice not everybody is double-sided. So, all right, let's look at the rule book. Rule book here It's typical decision game rule book, but not many examples. Other than the first page, there aren't many examples. And here, it's nice that you go through all the possible units, who they belong to, who controls them. But otherwise, I call this kind of a Miranda Light, and the game's by Javier Romero. So I call those a kind of a Miranda Light in terms of rules. A little, maybe not heavy on the chrome, but more detail in terms of victory conditions and being things a little bit case specific. I tend to like his games a great deal. I worked on his most recent one for Compass with the Red Partisans, which should soon be released. So, work with his stuff. Now, let's take a look at the map. The big over the world view of the map. Okay. Let's get down close to it. Here you have, some folks may not like the squares. The squares represent who is in control of the various population areas. Orange is Muslim, blue is Croatian, and red is Serbian. I kind of like it because at a glance here, I can see what's going on. I find everything easy to read. I like the font used for countries or areas. I find the cities easy to see. Along each side are the tables and your big terrain effect chart over here and your terrain key. And what's nice is it's the same, it's easy for each side to see. Kind of a mirror on things, and here you got your proficiency chart. So in general, it's sort of a mirror, not completely mirrored from what I can see, but close to it. So, new game, and of course you know your game record track and all, just arrived yesterday. We're looking forward to this one. We will be hitting it pretty dang directly, along with Close the Atlantic by Mike Raymond. So thank you, folks. We were busy upstairs in the train room a lot today getting it straight, and if any of you are interested, I'll may post a picture of that because it's my other lesser hobby. Thank you all. It's 50 something here. Our weather's warm, so we're not fussing at the moment. Thanks. Bye, folks.